So next on the agenda, we have a session called Practical Strategies for Enhancing Independence. And our speaker today is Karina Scott. She's from Northern California, and she is a certified orientation and mobility specialist. She's been working with blind and visually impaired people for the last 7 years. And before that, she was working with families with children with special needs. She is a author, publisher, blogger, and the mom of a beautiful daughter with mitochondrial disease. So please give a warm welcome to Karina Scott.
Hello. So, wow, talk about glare. So yeah, my name is Karina Scott, and my daughter is visually impaired. She does not have LHON, but she has optic nerve hypoplasia and a mitochondrial disorder. So I've been dealing with vision impairments, not as an affected person, but as a family member for 22 years now. And just so I can get a feel for the room, if everyone who is affected by LHON could clap, that would be great. Oh, okay. Is there anyone here with a vision impairment that is not LHON? Okay. Oh, wait, clap? Did someone raise their hand? Oh, I have one. Yay. Okay, all right. And family members, could you clap, please? Woo, all right. So we have a really good mix of people. So the first thing I want to talk about, my experience as a teacher of the visually impaired doing orientation mobility started out with working with my own child, went to school, and began my career working with other children. And most of these kids are multiply disabled, but were either born with a vision impairment or had a decline in vision over many years. Later, I moved in with adults, most of them elderly, and then I'm dealing with people who have macular degeneration, glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy. Also, all of these things take a really long time. You kind of have an idea that something's going on with your vision, and it could take 2-3 years before you lose your workable vision. So LHON is new for me because it happens so quickly. And what I've discovered in talking with other mobility specialists is that we are not trained to deal with that. We're really not. I had never heard of LHON until I went to the conference in Seattle last year. And my university program, we learn a lot about vision impairments, but we were not taught anything about LHON. And so I think that one of the problems in my field that you may run into is that we are not trained to deal with immediate vision loss. Nobody is. I mean, how do you, as a family member, as the affected person, how do you go to bed and then the next day you can't see? And that is what you are coping with. And that is what I need you to train us to understand. So the emotional impact, when you know that your vision is in decline, you have this long grieving process. But when it's quick, you are automatically in crisis mode and dealing with the emotional impact. And then you have family members who have no idea how to help. It's like suddenly we're dealing with an emergency and they don't understand, well, how much help do you need? Well, what do I do? Well, how do I fix this? Well, what's a cure? And the person who is affected is like, oh my God, I can't see, and I can't answer your questions. And so all of these things that I have seen in the elderly or with children that take months or years happen in the LHON community days, weeks, month. So it's very important. Everyone needs time to grieve. Give yourself the time to grieve. Yes, this is crisis mode. This is like, whoa, we got to deal with, now you can't see, so what does that mean? Let's deal with it. But also recognize the entire family is grieving. And the loved ones are going to be working overtime to try to help and have no clue what to do. So that's why I wanted to give this talk. So the big question is, what can I do today to help my loved one? How can I make this better? How can I can't fix it, so how can I make your day just a little bit better? How can I keep you safe? How can I find the answers for you? What do you need me to do? Communication, right up from the start. But communication is two-sided. Communication, the affected person needs to say what they need. And they may not even know it yet, but that's okay. You can say that, you know what, I don't know. I don't know what I need. Why do you keep asking me? But it's important. And the loved one, the caregiver, your spouse, your children, it's okay to ask. I think a lot of times people who are not visually affected feel uncomfortable. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know, so I'm just gonna stay hands off. Or they'll do the other extreme where, oh, well, let me hold your hand everywhere. Suddenly they think, oh, you can't see, so you must be an invalid. It's like, no, not an invalid. Right, very quickly, the first thing you can do is when you are talking to a person with vision loss, you can say, hi, it's Karina. Don't just start talking to them expecting them to know who you are, because they don't suddenly have superpowers that they can just kind of feel the vibe and like, oh, it must be Karina. Yeah, or recognize your voice. That's a thing that people will say, like, well, why can't you recognize my voice? It's like, well, I don't have super hearing. So really, it's simple, simple, simple. Right away, right from the beginning, get in the habit of every time saying, hi, it's Karina. Hi, it's Fred. Hi. Even before you touch the person with a vision impairment, because if you touch the person, you can really startle them. Suddenly out of the blue, you appear and they're like, whoa, who are you? They don't even know who you are. So just go, hi, it's Karina. Hi. And then wait and see if they want to be touched. If you're gonna shake hands, don't just wait for them to like kind of reaching out, like, oh, hi. Go ahead and touch their hand after you've introduced yourself. If they start to reach out to shake your hand, take their hand and shake. Don't leave them hanging. That's rude. It's okay to say that I don't know what to do. And I think that that's something really important, that everybody, because this is happening so quickly, it's really important for everyone to say, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm really scared. I'm confused. It's okay. Admit that to each other, because you are building your team and your family and your friends. They're all going to step up, but they just need guidance. And that guidance comes from the person with the vision loss. So, speaking of guidance, another simple thing I'm going to teach you is called Human Guide. Now, Human Guide, you may have seen people with service dogs, people who have vision loss. Well, you can also use a human being to be that guide. And it's very simple. Anybody can do it. And my lovely assistant, Maria, I'll come down here and I'll try to yell. Would it help with a handheld mic, or can you hear me? Yes. Need a mic? Yeah. Okay. So just take one off the table. All right. Can't see. It's on. Hello. Oh. Okay, so I skipped ahead because I do that sometimes, so I'll just skip ahead. Here we go. All right, Human Guide. So the first thing, Human Guide is usually used when you're in an area that the person with vision loss is not familiar with, or perhaps it's dark, or they're having a really bad day and they're not feeling safe. It's not an automatic. You don't just go up like, oh, hey, let's go. Not okay. No, 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 no. So if you see your loved one kind of like, oh, I don't know, you can walk up to them and go, would you like a guide?
Yes, that would be great.
All right. So then what you do is you touch the back of your hand to the back of their hand. This is less intimate than holding hands or grabbing them. Never, never grab. And even, holding hands is kind of like treating them like a child, and that's never okay. It shows a lack of respect. Unless, I guess, it's your boyfriend or girlfriend if you want to hold hands, but don't assume. So you touch the back of their hand, and then the person is going to trail up your arm and grasp on to the elbow. Yes, thumb out. So you have your fingers, fingers in toward the body, thumb out, grasping just above the elbow. And go ahead and get a firm grasp. Yes. Excellent. Because the last thing you want is for me to go like that. All right. So, firm grasp. Good. The person with the vision loss will keep their elbow at an L shape. This is perfect. Our shoulders will be lined up. So, opposite shoulders. So my left shoulder is in front, her right shoulder is directly behind that. And I'm about a step ahead. Because what I'm going to be doing then is previewing the area for her. And then we just walk forward. Here we go. And you just hold on, and we walk around. Ooh, there's this nice room. Oh, we're going to turn. Here we go. Whee!
I feel safe.
You feel safe. Except when I have you too close to the stairs and you trip. All right, I'm going to pull you around. Stop. So as the guide, it's really important that you keep your body relaxed because you don't, a lot of times you might go like, okay, careful. You don't want to do that. It causes too much tension in your shoulders. You can let go.
We did it rehearsed.
So you really want to keep your arms relaxed. And the pace is actually determined by the person who needs the guide, not the guide. So go ahead and latch on again. And I'm going to go fast. You ready? Okay, here we go. No. Okay. No, it's never going to work out because she is way behind, grasping on for life, terrified. Not okay. The other problem, though, is if you go too slow, like, okay, here we go, hold on. Okay, don't get lost. Oh, it's kind of crowded in here. Now, for one, it'll throw you off balance, and it's disrespectful. So I want you now to set the pace. So we'll turn around. I'm going to start walking, and I want you to either pull me or push me back a little bit to affect my pace, okay? Okay, she pulled my arm back just a little, so I know I need to slow down a little, and now we're walking well. But then she started to push me forward because I slowed down too much. So, too fast. There we go. That feels good. All right. Well done. And we didn't even practice. So that's where a lot of the practicing with your loved ones, and this is something you can do at home. You could do out here in the hallway. I'll be around if you have questions, if you want to practice with a partner. And the more you walk together, the more natural it becomes. And then another common thing that you will run into, though, especially here where it gets crowded, is narrow. It can get very narrow. How do you get through the crowd? So, would you like a guide?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a big crowd ahead, so I'm going to have you do narrow passage. So what that means is you're going to drop your hand down toward my wrist. I'm going to hold my hand back a little bit. That's right, exactly. She stepped behind me more, and then we walk. Now we give each other a little more space so she doesn't step on my heels. Okay? And then I'll pull you forward when it's safe again. And we'll go back. And then go ahead and get back to the regular grasp up above my elbow. Okay. Narrow passage. And forward. There we go. Perfect. Wow, on the move even. You're a pro.
I learned well. I'm quick.
Very, yeah. So those are the two really simple, basic ones that you can use a lot. Was that on? Yeah, that was good. Thank you. Thank you. All right, put this back. So those are the two main ones that you can use all the time just practicing. There's all kinds of more complicated ones like up and down stairs, doorways. The doorways one is really about narrow passage, like, oh, here's a door, narrow passage, and you can go through the door together. And those are things that take a little more practice, a little more time, and are great to work with a trained orientation mobility or a vocational rehab therapist, just to give you a little more of the idea. But those two right there, narrow passage and just basic human guide, you can do today, no problem, and help each other. But the key is if the person with the vision loss asks for help. Don't just walk up and say, oh, narrow passage, hold on, let's go. Maybe they don't need it. So I'm going to back up for a little bit. Another thing you can do to help your loved one is about orientation. So what I do, I am an orientation and mobility specialist. Orientation is the part that helps you know where you are. Which way's north? How do I get out of the room? Where's the bathroom? Things like that. Mobility is about traveling through space safely. You can help your loved one find the bathroom. Some things you can use, some people like cardinal directions, north, south. You can use clock face. The bathroom is at 3 o'clock. Right, left, behind, the basics. Oh, it's behind you. Not, oh, it's over there. Pointing. That's not going to help. A little more specific would be very good. Addresses, get in the habit of actually using an address, not just a landmark, not just, oh, the blue house. Well, okay, the blue house gives you a general idea, but I really need to find the post office. So if you can give, well, there's the blue house, which is 575, and the one next to that is 573. The post office is at 571. That gives people a little clearer idea of exactly where to go when they need to. Okay, human guide, went over that. Okay. Now, when I first got here, I said, glare. Those lights, and I know they're needed for the presentation, so that's why they're on, but I don't have a vision loss, and they're really bothering me. I don't know about the speakers up here with vision challenges, but wow, that's really bright. And glare is huge when you have a vision impairment of any kind, because it makes things worse. It makes it harder to see. And that's something you as the caregiver or loved one, friend, can be aware of, that when you're sitting at a table, it might be better for the person with the vision impairment to sit with the light behind them, or even to the side might be okay. Again, it's about communication. But you don't really want to set them smack in the middle of the room with the sun shining right in their face. And also, glare changes the way that people can see. So maybe one day you polish the kitchen floor, and then your loved one walks in and is blinded. It's like, I cannot see. And you're like, what are you talking about? You could see the kitchen yesterday. Why can't you see it today? It's like, well, today it's brighter, and you washed the floor, and now there's glare everywhere. It's like, so never wash the floor. Other types of lighting problems, water reflections that may not bother you if you don't have any type of vision impairment, but somebody else with a vision impairment definitely it will. Shiny iPad showing pictures, like, hey, look at this picture I took on your shiny iPad. The person with vision impairment may not be able to see that regardless if they have central vision loss or not. It's just that glare, that sheen. So it's better print it out or make sure if you're going to show something it's not all glary. Nighttime. Vision can change dramatically at night. Maybe during the day, they're totally fine, walking around, no problems. At night, suddenly, they don't want to go anywhere. It's not because they're terrified. Well, they are terrified because now they can't see. So that might be a time when you can walk to them and say, hey, would you like a guide? Or how can I help? Can I help? Would you like some help? Maybe they don't want help, they just want to stay home. That's fine. That's their choice. You don't get to make the choices for people. This is really, really important, and I see this a lot. Don't ditch your loved one at a party. Don't go take like, hey, let's go check out this party. That'd be great. Let's go. We go to the party, and you're like, okay, well, hey, there's the bar. Bye. And you disappear. And your loved one who has vision impairment is standing there. They have no idea who's in the room. They didn't see the bar. You know, it's crowded. It's probably a little dark. So you just disappearing like that is not helpful. When you first walk into the room, describe it. Like, walk in the room, it's like, wow, there's a lot of people here. There's a couch on the left, and directly ahead on the other side of the room, there's the bar. So, and I see George. He's about 2 o'clock, and there's Alice right next to the bar. Shall we go say hi to Alice? Would you like to go? Do you want to sit down? It doesn't mean you have to hover and wait on them. It just means help your loved one be oriented to the space, know what is there so that they can decide what they want and where they want to go. And then just kind of check in with them off in and out. You know, if they're okay just on their own, just check in. It's like, hey, doing good? Anything you need? Oh, the bathroom? Yeah. Let me show you because it's kind of complicated. Would you like a guide? It's really crowded and dark in that hallway. Yeah, let me guide you there, and then you can find it. And just don't leave them to stand there in the hallway. So, again, it all comes back to communication. You're dealing with something that happens very quickly, and it has a huge impact on the entire family, everyone. The person with the vision loss and the loved ones, the family, the friends, your coworkers. Everybody's going to want to know what to do and how to help. And if you don't speak, if you don't talk to each other, then there can be a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of anger, a lot of confusion. It's okay to say, I don't know. I don't know what I want. I'm trying. Or, I don't know how to help you. Can you tell me what to do? And if the person, your loved one, keeps asking you, could you read this for me? Can you read this for me? Can you read this for me? It's okay for you to feel, God, okay, yeah, fine. However, it is not okay for you to blow them off or roll your eyes or like, oh my God, fine, again? I have to read this again? How many times? Why can't you memorize it? It's like, you know, there's just simple ways you can help. And recognize this is really emotional, so people are going to get angry, they're going to get their feelings hurt, but it will get easier. The more you communicate, the more tools you have, the more you talk to an orientation mobility specialist, like me, the more there's tons of support out there. And you're here, and you're helping each other, and you're learning, and you are all teaching me. So I can go back to my program in California and say, hey, any of you ever heard of LHON? Do you understand what it is? Do you understand the impact it has on people's lives? And right now the answer is no, they don't know. But I'm learning, and they will learn. And one thing I learned, which is very interesting, as an orientation mobility specialist, we like to give people white canes. Number one, we want to give you all a cane to keep you safe. And what I see is, in fact, clap if you have a white cane. Woo! My people, I love you, because that's what I know how to do. You know? Clap if you do not typically use a white cane. So that is a personal choice. It is not up to your family or anyone else to decide for you, not even an orientation mobility specialist, that you have to have a white cane. I recommend them, they come in handy, but it's a tool, and it's up to the individual. And that's a conversation for the person with the vision loss and their family. It's not up to any expert to come in and tell you exactly what to do. And with that being said, I would love to learn more. And if anyone has any questions or comments, please, I'm here, and we have some time. Yeah, here comes a microphone.
Now, my son's 10, and he just lost his vision in the past year. And I mean, since with LHON, you know, the peripheral, at least for him, his peripheral vision is intact, and it's just, you know, a central issue. He gets around, you know, most places fine, but like when he's around a lot of people, I want other people to not think he's just being rude and like knocking into them. How do you teach somebody to walk through a lot of people? I mean, he doesn't really want to be guided around.
Right.
So how do you teach him to be aware of himself and his space and other people?
So at 10, the biggest the trickiest part is just getting them to slow down and pay attention. And it gets easier as they get older. But just that reminding of, okay, great, you want to be independent? Awesome. So break it down in terms of when you walk into a room, take a moment and look around real quick. Real quick, just little basics like, is there a chair in front of you? Can you recognize any of your friends, or is it really crowded? Just to start getting to practice those little check-ins with your environment, which in kids, it's hard, but that's what I am constantly doing with children. And as they get older, it just becomes automatic. So I don't know, did I answer your question? Okay.
When you're going down brick stairs, they all look the same. How do you go down brick stairs?
How do you go down brick stairs? Yeah, stairs are really challenging, and that's one of those times when a white cane does come in handy. But if you don't want to use a cane, first you have to look for the clues of where do the stairs begin. Hopefully there's some kind of handrail. Always use the handrail if it's available, always. And then I hate to use the word foot probe. That's kind of a no-no in my world, but I'll use it here because it's easiest to explain. I'm gonna, oh, this comes off, doesn't it? I don't know why I feel like I'm glued to this thing. So we'll say this is a handrail, and looks like bricks is there. You just slowly kind of tap. You don't really want to push with your foot because that can lead to tripping, but if you can tap, that'll help. Take a little step, tap, tap. Okay, there it is. Always use the handrail. And then kind of feel with your heel to make sure that you've cleared it. Down, down, one step at a time. Don't think that you can go, because those types of brick stairs are really tricky. So go, okay, got it, tap, tap, there it is, good, okay, heel, down. So you just have to slow way, way down. If you have a white cane, that does the preview for you, so you don't have to do the tapping, but that is a way that you can. If they're brick stairs and there's no handrail, I really recommend asking for help, because it's just really dangerous otherwise.
This is not so much a question as it is a comment, I suppose you could say. I find that having my cane, because personally, I would say about the majority, like I would say around 90% of the places in which I travel, I can get around just fine without a white cane. But I view more the point of it is to let people know, hey, I can't see that well, so if I do anything particularly stupid, or if I do anything that makes you go, man, is that guy blind or something? Then they know that I am.
Oh, yeah, he is, yeah. Yeah, I agree. A lot of times when people say, like, I don't need a cane, I don't need a cane, and a lot of people, if you have your vision is intact peripherally, you can get around quite well without a cane, but not everybody knows that you have a vision loss. So a lot of times I do recommend just get one for identification purposes, especially like even trying to cross a street. Maybe you don't need a cane to find the curbs or any of that, but at least you've got one in your hand, and it does tend to make people pay more attention. They don't want to get caught running over a blind person. It's Any other questions, comments, anything you'd like to tell me that that I don't understand or I got wrong, or how can I advocate?
Hi, how
Hi.
often do you introduce technology into your training?
A lot of technology.
Talk to me about apps that are out there and available.
Like iPhone apps. I use the magnifying tools a lot. Just the camera on your phone, if you have a good generation 7, even or higher. The photography apps are great, and you can enlarge them. The money readers, I haven't been that impressed with. What is it called? Be My Eyes has been very effective for many people. That's like a social media kind of a thing where you can sign up for a service and you can call in and you use the camera on your phone, and volunteers will tell you, will orient you to your hotel room, say. Like, I'm in a brand new place, I don't know where anything is. which one's the shampoo? You can call, and they will tell you exactly what it is. Gosh, that could be its own workshop right there. But the really simple ones I like is just, I use my camera phone all the time. I don't even bother really with magnifying. I just take pictures of things and then enlarge it. That's the most helpful thing. And then the GPS, yeah, I really like the, God, what's it called? Not Waze. Waze is pretty good. But Google does a pretty good job. I'm sorry? Live Square. I haven't used that one. Blind Square. Oh, yes. I've heard of it, but I have not used it. I live in a rural county, so the Wi-Fi cell is spotty at best. So I'm more the hands-on quick tools or just something simple and easy to use. But I would like to learn more about that one, definitely. Do you have a favorite one? No? Oh, okay. There's, gosh, I'm so sorry, I cannot remember the name of it, but there is a website that reviews apps for people with vision impairment. And it explained, I don't buy or try out anything until I read those reviews. And I'm sorry, I cannot remember the name of it, but if you did just Google Apple apps for the blind, there's tons of information and really good reviews out there. And a lot of times they'll put in freebies so you can try them out to see if they work for you or not, because they also are very specialized, and maybe one thing won't work for you, but it works great for someone else. So.
Hi, I have a question. Just from the like family member side, when you're assisting someone with limited sight and wanting to be as helpful as possible, but I love how you're talking about like respect. Any tools or suggestions on not becoming enabling, you know? Like how do you find that boundary of ensuring that their personal power is respected and honored and they still maintain that, but also maybe not pulling back too much and finding that line?
Yeah, that can be tricky because a lot of times what happens is, of course, people will get really depressed and then they shut down and they don't want to do anything. And I've seen that quite a bit, especially if the person is young. You know, they feel like it's hopeless, there's no point, I'm just going to lie here. Suddenly they can't even tie their own shoes or find their shoes or, you know, feed themselves. I mean, and that's part of that is depression. And so it is important for me in my own experience, like with my daughter, she has a vision loss. She's 22 now. And we've had many battles over, she's really good at getting me to do things for her. I know damn well she can do for herself. I have to check in with myself first and take a moment of like, wait, is this something that my daughter has the tools to do for herself? Yes? Okay. Then that's where the communication part comes in. That's like, you know, I really think you can find your own shoes. If you need help beyond that, you know, little steps. To know that, like my daughter finally started dressing herself when I stopped helping her with, I mean, we call it like the fairy princess game where she would just stand there and wait for someone to bring her her coat and comb her hair, and I was doing that, you know? And then one day it was like, wait a minute, I am teaching her how to be helpless. This is not okay. So I had to just slowly, not all at once, go, oh, do it yourself. I would just go and like, I think you can pick out your own clothes today, and then I'd leave. And then slowly through those little steps, she started to go like, oh, wait, well then I can do this too, and I can do that. Now, with adults, mostly I've seen that behavior in the elderly. Also, they will get really, if they fall, suddenly they're afraid to do anything. If they lose their vision, they become terrified and won't leave the house. And so again, it's instead of me always going to get the mail, I'll go, okay, how about we get the mail? Let's go. Until she can get used to going with me outside and learns the route. And then one day I'll be like, how about you get the mail? It's just a matter of making sure they have the tools to feel safe, and then I step back. And they know I'm there if they need me. I'm still in the house. You can yell if you need me, but I'm really sure you can go get your own mail now. So little steps and building confidence over time, and checking in with myself that I'm not trying to keep them so safe that they lose all independence. So, Is that it? Okay. Thank you so much. I'm learning a lot.